What's good, everybody? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson with the Christmas sweater. I know you mad. Back with another collaboration here on the YouTube channel, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, and hit the bell. And let me just do to stop the show. I want to give a round of applause for all the African American men tuning in right now. You guys are the best, man. I really appreciate you. Keep the sound effect going. But today, man, we got a new up and coming new brother here in this space, man. I saw him on the Brothers Bernard Riley show a few months ago, and he did email me, and we've been trying to get this together. I'm gonna let him introduce himself and what his channel is all about.
Good afternoon, guys. My name is Red Sings the Blues, or as I go by monocle, Man Behind the Mic. I do video breakdowns, I do interviews. I like to, get to know people. I also like to understand the knowledge of the red pill, so I've been doing a lot more of that. And for a lot of people, they've been coming to me for podcasting advice. So a lot of people, if you need some help, hey, look, listen, I do have the advice. You know what I'm saying?
All right. And I saw you on Bernard Riley's popular Grown Man Hour. Shout out to Bernard Riley, which is a daily show, man. It seems like Bernard does it like 7 days a week almost. He doesn't take a day off. And it's grown from its infancy to like a really, really popular StreamYard platform. A lot of guys over there. And you were the guest one day.
Yeah.
And I was coming over there. I typically go over there every day. I donate some money. And if I can stand and listen, I will. And if I can't, I'll leave. But you're talking about that a lot of African-American men like yourself, there was at some point in the Black community where you felt neglected because of the way that you talk. You could look. Can you explain that?
Well, okay. So on Bernard Riley show, I think we've talked about, how I came to be, where did I come from? And I come from New Jersey. I come from a, moderately white suburban population of the New Jersey area. So mainly I have been growing up with, relatively white people,
Okay.
being the Black person, to grow up with white people, like I was always the odd person out, you know what I'm saying? And growing up, I had it hard, being with the white people as well. You know what I'm saying? I didn't, like growing up, you were taught, about equality and whatnot.
Right.
But, getting the information, growing up the way you were, you were out, you were, but something was different about you. You didn't have the white complexion, you didn't have the straight hair, your hair was a bit coiled and stuff like that. And, it started to click on me. Hey, wait a minute, I'm Black, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't really hate myself, but I think more or less, I wanted to be professional. I wanted to be something that, somebody could aspire to be, somebody can look up to be, because I think more or less, and I didn't understand it until, I went into, certain parts of my family. Did I find out that, Black people, we have generational curses and whatnot, and we can say stuff, and we can say stuff about that. But more or less for me, I thought to myself, you know what? I don't want to end up like this because my mom and my dad, because I come from a atomic family structure. I realized that, I think to myself all the time, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it professionally. I want to make sure that I'm putting my best foot forward, and I want to make sure that I'm as professional as possible. Sometimes do I let loose? Yes, I do. But more or less to me, I think it's an importance to me to be professional, you know what I'm saying? And I've been bullied by many different people, not just white Black people, but by white people as well. And for me, you know what? That kept me going. You know what I'm saying? I stayed professional. I had to maintain the frame, as most red pill guys would say,
Let me ask you this, because you grew up in a white suburb. Now I know you said you had problems with these odd man out, even in the white community, but a lot of brothers, there are a lot of Black men that grow up like you. Right. They're not. Then people don't think that everybody Black grows up in the hood. Shout out to Pocket Watching with JT Pocket Watching Accountant Reacts. His father was a business owner. There are a lot of Black men and Black people growing up in America that come from stable families, more so than what people want to give credit for. How is it when you wanted to, let's say at a certain age, deal with the Black community or deal with Black women, and they're listening to your tonality and how you talk? What was their response?
Well, I got really mixed responses, man. I've gotten you sound really white. You have a vernacular. You have and with white people, it's more or less like, wow, you sound smart. Wow, you sound wise. You sound logical, and all this other stuff. And for black people, it's just more or less like, I've gotten a lot of pushback because I guess more or less, when you are I guess again the odd person out, you are seen as a either a sellout, a coon, or whatever kind of person they want to type you up as, Uncle Ruckus or something like that. But with black women, I won't say some black women didn't like it, because some black women did, and I'm talking about certain black women that had the same class as I did. We understood each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when it came to the majority of black people, it was just like, bro, like what you doing, man? Like you gotta toughen up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have some, I guess what you can call hood or something. But I guess what they were trying to say was, is that you're kind of a pushover. You sound like a pushover. You sound like you have something against the world or something like that when you talk. But more or less, I understood, what I can say is the difference between both cultures, which was the culture that the culture that I was surrounded by, and the culture that I have. You know what I'm saying? Like our culture always is dictated by how many women we sleep with, the beats that we make, and all this other stuff, the entertainment value of who we are. We're not valued by the money that we make, the investments that we make, the contributions we put back. And I think that is really important to us. I am a black person that wants to give back. I want to be a young black man that wants to contribute, because that is important to any that should be important to any of us. It should like women that you sleep with. Look, listen, all fine and dandy. I've had my fun. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I had my fun. No, I'm ready to settle down. No. I've had my fun. Now I'm ready. Now I'm ready to build something up. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to be professional. I'm ready to show that, look, listen, I can come in a room. I can talk professionally. I can be professional. And sometimes, it may not be in my better judgment, but you know what? I'm gonna take the notes anyway, and I'm gonna learn from him, and we can strive to be better, because that's what young black men should be doing. You know what I'm saying? Investing. We should be professional. And I understand where guys are just like, well, we got some slang and stuff like that. I get it. Okay, I understand the slang, but when you are around a certain group of people, when you are around a certain culture, right, you got to know how to speak the language. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the entertainment industry, so I've been doing theater. I'm a stagehand. So I've been around a lot of white people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to make that I'm not trying to, and for lack of better words, I'm not trying to make that a thing. You know what I'm saying? But I've learned how to talk just like them. Understood how to put myself in a calm position, because it's not just because they're white. It's because there is a professionalism that needs to be held, something, and for us, and this is really important, professionalism is key. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be promoted, you gotta present yourself in a certain way. Okay. Your hard work. Let me
okay.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, let me ask you. Sorry about that. It seems like I'm sorry, I might be cutting off on my end, but let me ask you this.
No,
you're saying when you're coming up, white people will say, "Oh, you sound wise," or "You sound smart." Now, when I used to hear stuff like that, I've heard it several times. At first, when I didn't know any better, I thought it was a compliment. But then I'm thinking to myself, so is anybody that has my diction, do you tell them that they sound smart or they sound wise? Or are you really trying to say, you sound smart for a black person?
Yeah.
Because other blacks don't talk like you. Yeah. And see, when I hear that, if I hear that now, I would instantly check, to be honest, because that's racist, right? Now, let me ask you this. What did you think initially when people would tell you, "Oh, you sound wise," or "You sound smart"? How did you feel about that at the time, or how do you feel about it now?
At first, I don't. At first, I thought it was, I was like, okay, I'll take that as a compliment. Nowadays, if somebody said that to me, I would say to myself, okay, what are you really talking about? Because more or less, I don't like to be. I don't like to be complimented like that. I don't think more or less like I wouldn't come up to you and say, "Hey, you're this and that. Hey, man, you're all that and other stuff." I wouldn't say that because I look at people as all right. We are working together. We're being professional, or we're just kicking it. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I'm trying to be like, all right, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to say? Because now I look at it like, I don't care enough for you to talk to me, but I would like it to be like, yo, I'm just the same as you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a person just like you, but I understand where you're going with this. Do I think it's a little racist? Yeah, I actually do, because it's just like, well, how many black people do you surround yourself with? How many thinking black people do you surround yourself with?
Right.
That's another thing. I think that needs to be said. How many thinking black people do you surround yourself with? Because I think more or less when you because I don't just surround myself with just thinking people. I surround myself with a majority of people. I get many different cultures, many different voices, because I know that there is knowledge. Knowledge is everywhere, but you just got to find it. But when you're in the white bubble, so to speak, you will get that. You will get the whole, you sound like this, you sound like that, because to many white people, they're not around people like you and me. And to the media, and like I said before, I work for the entertainment industry. To the media, black people are portrayed just the same way as you see them outside, which is a factor in which I said to myself, you know what, we got to change this. You know what I'm saying? But it starts with me.
Let me ask you this, because obviously, now I'm in the business of social media content creation now. Mm-hmm. So I could appreciate somebody like you who is into sound. Shout out to DJ Kuda. We could put his channel up there. Mr. Mike King, Mr. Microphone Man. Okay, shout out to give him a round of applause, actually. And so I actually, can appreciate a person who is into, motherboards, and because RAM and AMD 3900X and all the other stuff, because
right.
In our business that we do, especially as content creations, we need those powerful machines. We need those Roadcasters and the Shure SM7B that you have, which I would not have known until I got into this industry that we're in now.
Right.
But historically, if I would have know a young man like yourself, I was like, what, this guy is into podcast engineering and microphones and stuff like that. I'm like, well, that's a little interesting, a little Caucasian of him. And so I want to know also, I noticed that black men that are talented like yourself, they also have different interests. They might not be like, the guys who collect Jordans all day, or they like different things and different music. So I want to know also, are there interests that you had that are outside of the stereotypical black male? And did you find it hard to align yourself with other blacks that had different interests than you?
Yeah,
you can talk about what those interests are.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, so I mean, look, listen. You can see in the back, I got some shoes. I collect a little bit of shoes myself. Okay, I'm not gonna.
Okay.
So I collect Vans. Okay, I don't collect Jordans. All right.
Right.
But I had to stop my collection. I think I just collect the limited editions. But I do a little bit of guitar tech. I design my own guitars. Currently, right now, I went to the art store and I talked to a guy about some airbrushes. So I'm really into airbrushing. But I do that also in my professional life. I actually do airbrush for certain people. I've been apprenticed by certain people as well as doing sound. Yeah, look, listen, I do, I think black people having hobbies is not a bad thing. I think if you have a hobby, you have a purpose, you know what I'm saying? And we always talk about staying on our purpose. The first thing about staying on your purpose is to find a skill. Once you find a skill, you find a hobby or find a skill, you found a purpose, you know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, I think for black people, when they look at stuff that isn't white, okay, look, listen, when we think of black people, how do we think of black people? We think of black people on the basis of rapping, basketball, athletics, football, okay, like anything that you think about with black people, that's what we think about. But I've met black chess. I met black chess players. I met black orchestrists. I met guys who played the tuba and whatnot. I met black people that were different than me, and I found them very, very interesting. But I also started to learn that we are just humans, you know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, and I know that sounds like a liberal talking point, but we have different interests. And I think for most of us, for black men, and or just as a people, is that what I'm trying to say is, I'm sorry. What I'm really trying to get at is, we stifle our potential. All right, we don't move from our comfort zones.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the thing is that we need to stop with that. If we don't, we have potential to do so many great things. But I think, when we look at things from, oh, this is a white thing to do,
Right.
stifles us. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, and I think that's interesting that you said that, because I believe also it does stifle us in that fashion. But how is the interaction with, let's say, because a lot of brothers have told me this,
right,
that when they have different interests, Vans or heavy metal or tech, and when they try to transpose this to the women that they like or like them, seems to be a little bit difficult. So did you have a hard time? And a lot of times, a lot of brothers, and no offense, that might have the interest in you, they end up with non-black women. So what I want to ask you is, for a guy that's been in your situation, is it much easier on average for you to date women that are not black than to date black women, and why?
Oh man, it's gonna be, oh man, you want the real truth?
Yeah, tell the real truth.
Oh god, the real truth is, yeah, look, I don't want to be that type of guy. I really don't. I don't want to be that type of guy. Okay, the real truth in the matter, and I hate to be this type of guy. I really, really don't like it. But it is true that the amount of black guys that do non-white things, that don't do what other black men are doing out here, they have a much easier time with white women. In fact, I don't even, for me, I was just doing hobbies. I was just doing what I like to do professionally. And the non-white women just came. I was like, okay, look, listen, we can kick it, we cool and all that. And not to say that I don't like black women. I do like black women. But to find those black women are so far in between. When I was in New York, I lived in New York for 3 years. Those black women existed, but however, those black women were not looking for me, okay? They were looking for the guys that were not like me, okay? And I get it, you know what I'm saying? Look, female nature, get it. I can't fight it, okay? But when it came to me, right, those women came. The Latino women, the white women, the Filipina, the Asian, those women came. As a man, you're not gonna swat them off. You're gonna be like, all right, cool. Like, cause most guys are just gonna be like, hey, look, listen, hey, look, chill, why not? But for me, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but okay, black women have to know what black men like. Okay, I understand that you have your own things. I get it. But when it comes down to, the man, you know what I'm saying? You got to understand the man. And some black men out here are not the thugs, they're not the rappers, they're not the athletes. They're like the nerds in which you guys are trying to get, which is the white dudes, man. There are the black nerds here, but I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's going on between the clash of the black men and the black women. Now I get it. There was the Black Panther Party and all that other stuff, and crack and all that other stuff, feminism and all that. I get it. But now, I hear a lot of other female content creators that talk about, where the nerdy black men and all that other stuff, they were around. I just don't know where you were, you know what I'm saying? And if you were around, how come you didn't come up to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, why weren't you interested?
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, man. For those people who are interested in the Red Sings the Blues YouTube channel, man, tell them what they're going to be experiencing on your channel, if when they subscribe over there, brother.
Oh, definitely. So guys, I do video, like I said, I do video breakdowns, I do interviews with a lot of good people, you know what I'm saying? And I do a lot of ranting from time to time, you know. Sometimes I may blow a gasket on trending topics, but you know, I like doing that. But I also bring it down to what we can learn from these sorts of things, you know. I like to be the black man, you know, the young black man, to have those sorts of solutions, what we can learn from things, how we can learn, and what we can do to better ourselves. Because you know, I started from the bottom again. I am not, I wasn't just a fly by night then blew up. I am a, you know, a content creator that learns. I also learn with my community, you know what I'm saying? We go back and forth, you know, we learn from each other, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I think you can get from my channel, you know.
All right, guys, and I really thank you, brother Racing the Blues, for an awesome session. What do you guys think, man? I know a lot of you brothers experienced this. Check out the first comment pinned to the top. You know, let me know what you guys think. And all you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.